everywhere. Now down in Tribeca, right next to the Narrow. But I'll be hood forever. I'm living Sinatra. And since I made it here, I can make it anywhere. Yeah, they love me everywhere. I used to cop in Harlem. Over my Dominicanos right there on Broadway. Pull me back to that McDonald's. Took it to my stash spot, 560 State Street. Catch me in the kitchen like the sinners with new pastry. Statue of Liberty, loved in the World Trade, loved in the King, y'all. I'm from the Empire State.
I think the project that is maybe the furthest is that we're doing a project with Ian Gillespie from West Bank in Vancouver, and we'll be applying for rezoning in a couple of weeks. And in April there's going to be this sort of design review panel, and sometime in between we should make it available to the public. But so far there's it's still like being refined. But I think it's been quite exciting to come to Canada. I was thinking, like, Denmark and Canada are quite similar. Like, we have, of course, like especially Vancouver, we have practically the same climate as in Copenhagen. The sun never shines, and it's kind of so cold, summer and winter. But both Canada and Denmark are these, if you like, little countries. Of course, Denmark is a lot smaller. It's like the size of Toronto. But and we're sitting on the shoulders of like this big, loud, aggressive big brother country, Germany or the United States, that we share a lot of like ethnical and cultural things with, which I think somehow makes it very makes Canada quite familiar to a Dane when you come here. Like, I think the attitude and the humor and the understatedness is similar. And then I think Vancouver especially represents a quite interesting urban experiment, like Vancouverism, the sort of the moniker for the sort of idea of like really high residential density. The fact that the downtown skyline of Vancouver is actually where people live and not where they do business. And what we're trying to do is, you know, it's been explored like urbanistically. Vancouver is very radical and seems to work quite well. But I think architecturally it hasn't been explored very much. And I think what we're trying to do is sort of continue the sort of architectural investigation of Vancouverism.
Now, can you stay? Please. How does your company work? How many people do you have? How do you get the creativity, imagination flowing so much?
We actually we've been around for like almost for a little bit more than 11 years. Like, one of my partners, Thomas Christopherson, is here. We're 7 partners. We have a boss, a CEO, Sheila. She's a McKinsey woman who knows about how to run a company. And then yeah, it's essentially structured that, you know, there's teams. I think one of the main conditions of architecture is that it is always a collective effort. We have a team that consists of architects and sort of, design assistants that are normally architecture students. Then we have you know, the engineers. We have different collaborators, specialty consultants. We have the clients that have like a lot of points of view. We have the users that have a lot of demands. We have the neighbors that normally have a lot of complaints. We have the Department of City Planning that has a lot of rules. We have the contractors that have ways of doing things. We have the unions. So like you have all these different influences, and the whole design process is a way of trying to channel all these different inputs, these different concerns and demands into actually form and drive the process, rather than having sort of a preconceived idea by a single creative genius that you then try to squeeze into the world, encountering all these demands as obstacles. I like the image of the architect, the traditional architect, as this angry baby that is trying to hammer the square through the circular hole in his toy. That's what a lot of architects are like. And I think we try to reverse the project. I like to compare our design process to, the game Twister, where you have like this mat, and where you have to sort of, it's just like, we made a book that's called Yes is More. It's obviously an evolution of Mies van Oo's Less is More. And it's just by saying yes to all these different concerns and demands, eventually you create such a difficult program that you have to have your hands and your feet and your face in so weird locations that you get your face in like back-bending proximity with the private parts of your fellow players. But essentially by almost increasing the demand on the architecture, you get outside the standard solution that is quite often just catering to a single concern. And you force the architecture into more extreme ideas that actually look different, because they perform different, and because they say yes to many more concerns and influences than the traditional sort of standard solution would do. So essentially by the way that you can channel all this input and all these contributions from all these collaborators is by always materializing every single step of the process. So nobody is allowed to have an idea inside their head. It has to come out in the form of a design, a drawing, a model, a diagram, a reference picture. Anything that is put out there in the material world can actually become the subject of collective input. If you walk around with it inside your head, it's not available. So also as a result, I normally say that environmental awareness and resource consciousness is for the real world. In the design studio, the more garbage you produce in the design process, the less garbage you end up building in the city.
Thank you very much.